In this video, we're going to focus on outputting in Python. Let me open up my Python shell. Here we go. You can see I've already had a little go at doing that. And you can see hello on the screen. So an output is something coming from the program out to the user. And in our Python programs, those are going to be texts, messages, for example. So hello. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to work in an actual Python file rather than directly on the shell so we can get used to seeing that. I go to File, New File, and here we go. I've got my untitled file here. And I'm going to type the word print. So in order to output in Python, we use the function print. Because it's a function, you can see it's turned purple here. And I open and close brackets. It has one open, one closed bracket. And if I want to output a message, and a message will be text, and in programming terminology, that is known as a string. And the reason why it's called a string, because if I just did W, for example, that's one character. But if I wanted to do several characters, we call that a string of characters. Every first program, you type hello world, it's just a thing. So I have the print function, which we know is spelled correctly because it's turned purple and it's a function. I've got an open bracket, open quote, the message that I want to output, close quote, close bracket. And I can go to file run, I just go to run module, and it will prompt you to save it. Now you could have saved this beforehand, but it will always ask you to save it first, and click OK. Make sure you're saving this in your user area in a suitable folder and give it a suitable file name. So I'm going to call this output and save. And we can see now I run it and it says hello world. Great. So that's how we can output in Python using the print function. Now there's a couple of well-known errors that can occur when you very first start printing and using Python. And that's my misspelling the function. You can see straight away that if I take the R out and it says point now, it's no longer purple. So it's not recognized that as a function or a keyword in Python. If I run this, it will come up and say point not defined because it doesn't recognize that word point. Okay, I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller so we can see it side by side here. So straight away, if it's saying that something is not defined, it will give you the word that isn't defined. You need to look at that word, and that is going to come useful when we start looking at variables later. Another common error would be to leave out one of the quotes. Now you can see straight away that that black bracket has become green. It's seeing it as part of the string. So when I run this time, a different error will occur, and it will say EOL, end of line, while scanning. So it's something to do with the end of this line it's not happy with. I have a little look. Using the built-in features of the IDE, I can see that the colour isn't quite correct and I'm missing that quote. And another very common error is to leave one or both brackets out. And the error you're getting this time, it will just say invalid syntax. If it was one, it may turn around and say end of file. There you go, end of file. It can't finish that off. You've not closed the bracket. So let's put that back in there. Okay. Now, a different type of error is called a logic error. Now, a logic error is not something that you've done in terms of the programming, brackets, quotes, misspelling or anything like that. A logic error will run, so your interpreter will not pick it up. So let me run this. However, the output is not what we wanted. So the output isn't what we expected it to be. In this case, it says hello word instead of hello world. And that logic error is a problem or a problem caused by the programmer's logic. Okay, it could be a spelling error, and later on we'll see more logic errors and the causes of those. So a syntax error is caused by you or the programmer not following the correct syntax of the language. That is triggered by the interpreter when it's trying to interpret it it will pop up and it will tell you where the error is, what line, and what type of error it is. And a logic error is when we as a programmer has made a mistake, not in terms of our programming syntax, but in what we want it to do. It still runs, but it's not coming out with the correct output. Now, further print statements here. If I wanted to print numbers, I do not need the quotes around them because it's not a string. So therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can run that. It won't throw up an error because numbers are okay. It will be like this. I could print like this. This will be fine as well. And the difference is it sees this one as actually a type of number. We'll look at that in a bit. And this one as a string because you can see it's seen as text. Now the difference here is I can then do 12 plus 67. And if I try and do print 12 plus 67, let's have a little look what happens here. Oh, I've missed a bracket, so that's going to cause an error anyway. Rerun these two. Okay, let's have a little look. So we've got a print, hello world. Print 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Print 1, 2, 4, 4. Yeah, looks the same. Here, however, we've got print 12 plus 67, and it came up with 79. So that's correct. But the following line, print 12 as a string plus 67 as a string, and it's got 1267. So we can see this plus here does something different when it's in between strings. So it's very important that if we're working with numbers, there are no quotes, and we're working with strings or text, there's quotes around it. Okay, stop this video now. I want you to practice the print statement until you are happy. There's some tasks in your OneNote. Do those and then move on to the input video.